They said a Navy SEAL never hesitates, but the moment Chief Dalton Reyes lifted his boot toward the trembling service dog, the entire base froze. No one expected what happened next. No one expected her to step forward. And absolutely no one expected the truth that would unravel every lie on the base, changing the meaning of loyalty forever. The wind cut sharply across the asphalt of Fort Sycamore, carrying that cold, metallic scent of a military base at dawn, diesel engines, old steel, and tension that lived under everyone's skin. The morning drill crowd gathered in a half-circle, whispering as Chief Dalton Reyes, a decorated Navy SEAL, towered over a small sand-colored female service dog named Sasha. She wasn't dangerous. She wasn't aggressive. She was just afraid. Her ribs showed faintly through her fur from recent weight loss, and her tail tucked so hard it almost curled under her belly. She'd been rescued from an explosion overseas, still healing from trauma no one had bothered to understand. Everyone on base knew her story. Everyone except Reyes. He had joined the base only weeks earlier, carrying a reputation heavier than his chest full of medals. No excuses, he always barked. Weakness dies before it spreads. Sasha flinched as he stepped closer. The boot lifted. And the world stopped. That's when Ariana Ari Cole, a 27-year-old junior medic with a quiet voice and a heart bigger than her paycheck, pushed through the crowd. She didn't think. Didn't calculate rank. Didn't care that she was about to challenge a man who had survived missions she couldn't even imagine. She only knew one thing. Don't you dare. The words tore out of her like fire. Reyes froze, teeth grinding. The whispering crowd went silent, eyes wide, breaths held. Ari knelt beside Sasha, placing a gentle hand over the dog's trembling shoulder. She's scared, not disobedient, she whispered. She's been through enough. Reyes lowered his boot, but his voice cracked like a whip. She disobeyed a command. She needs correction. Ari stood up slowly, heart hammering against her ribs. She needs help. Not fear. The tension stabbed the air. A younger soldier muttered, Ari, don't, he'll write you up. Another whispered, she's done for. But Ari didn't move. Reyes leaned in close enough she could smell the leather on his gloves. Cole, this is the military. Not a therapy group. If you don't know how to handle broken animals, step aside. Ari swallowed hard. Sasha pressed against her leg for comfort. Sir, she said, voice steadier than she felt, you're wrong. And if you want to correct someone, correct me. The crowd gasped. Reyes blinked. For a second, just a second, anger flickered into something like surprise. Or confusion. Or a memory he quickly buried. Before he could respond, a voice boomed from behind. Chief Reyes. Medic Cole. My office. Now. Commander Holden had witnessed everything. As they walked, Ari felt her career slipping through her fingers. But she kept looking back at Sasha, still shaking, but safe. Ari thought she was headed toward her punishment. But she had no idea. The confrontation she just started would expose secrets buried deeper than any battlefield wound. And Sasha, fragile, quiet Sasha, would become the key to everything. Commander Holden's office felt colder than the hallway outside. The blinds were half closed, slicing sunlight into harsh lines across the desk. Ari stood stiffly, hands clasped behind her back. Reyes stood beside her, jaw locked. Chief Reyes, Holden started, voice controlled but edged with steel. Explain. She defied protocol, sir, Reyes answered. The dog ignored commands. I acted accordingly. Holden turned his eyes to Ari. And you? I acted to protect a traumatized service animal, sir. Silence stretched long and tight. Then Holden sighed, and leaned back. Reyes, that dog is assigned to new therapy development. She's not combat trained. She's not here to take orders. She's here to learn trust. Reyes didn't flinch. Trust doesn't save lives, sir. Ari's chest tightened. Holden's gaze softened. Sometimes it saves more than bullets and armor ever could. Reyes's eyes flicked sideways, toward the floor, the wall, anywhere but Holden's face. He stood like a statue, but Ari could sense something breaking underneath. Holden continued, "Chief, I'm aware of your record. And I know what happened on the Carson mission." Ari didn't know what that meant. But Reyes did. His shoulders tensed as though invisible weights pressed onto them. "That's classified," he muttered. "And it concerns your behavior," Holden replied. "You've been transferred 3 times in 2 years because of outbursts." Ari felt her stomach sink. This wasn't anger. It was pain disguised as order. Suddenly, Reyes spoke, voice low, rough. "One of my men died because of a dog. A K-9 unit. She panicked during fire. Froze. The blast." He stopped. Ari's breath caught. So that's what this was. A ghost he hadn't buried. "She didn't freeze," Ari whispered before she could stop herself. She was terrified. Like Sasha. Reyes's jaw tightened, eyes burning with a rawness he didn't want anyone to see. Holden nodded. "Reyes, we're assigning you mandatory trauma counseling. Anne Cole will be your partner for Sasha's rehabilitation training." Both of them snapped to him. "Sir?" Ari asked, wide-eyed. "Sir?" Reyes echoed, incredulous. "Yes," Holden said firmly. "You two will work together. Cole, you'll teach Sasha trust. Reyes, you'll learn it." Reyes glared. "With respect, sir, I don't." "That's an order, Chief." Silence. Reyes finally nodded once, sharply. Ari exhaled, pulse racing. She wasn't sure this was a blessing or a disaster. Working with a man who had nearly harmed Sasha, and who carried battlefield ghosts? But as Reyes turned toward the door, something unexpected happened. He paused. Looked at Ari. And said quietly, "I didn't mean to hurt her." It wasn't an apology. But it wasn't resistance either. It was the first crack in the armor. Ari nodded, voice gentle. "We'll help her. And maybe, we'll help you too." Reyes didn't respond, but he didn't shut down either. As they walked out of the office side by side, not enemies but something complicated and fragile, Sasha lifted her head from across the hall. Her tail wagged once. Slowly. Hopeful. Ari smiled. Reyes hesitated, its expression softened, barely, but enough for Ari to see the man beneath the medals. She had no idea yet how dangerous their next steps would become. How secrets would surface. How Sasha's gentle presence would force the whole base to confront truths they'd buried. But one thing was certain. This wasn't just about a seal or a scared dog anymore. It was about healing wounds they didn't even know they still carried.